Hey everybody, I was going through my mother's mother from Italy, her recipe tin. And I found a recipe. I won't tell you what the secret, it's not a secret, but I won't tell you what, or an ingredient that surprised me. Maybe it won't surprise you guys, maybe you've seen it. So now, after I read the recipe, I Googled it. And this ingredient has been used before. So stay tuned and let's make it together. It's a good one. Everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back. Real quick, this is a special recipe that I've never made. It was my grandmother's, and I found it going through her recipe box. Okay, and can I tell you right away what the secret ingredient is? And I never heard of it until I looked after I found her recipe, and I looked online. And then there are a few cakes, but I never heard of it. Look, beer. You put beer in. I never heard of that. I've put wine in my cakes. I put obviously booze in my cakes. I put extra virgin olive oil in my cakes, but never beer. So that's gonna be fun. So anyway, let's get to the recipe. And this is it's supposed to be like a spice Bundt cake. It's a streusel cake. Let's put it that way. It's a spice streusel cake, but there's no cloves in there or allspice. It's just cinnamon. So I don't know if it's a true spice cake, but anyway, let's try it and see. Because next time I make this, if I want, I can always add about a half a teaspoon of allspice, a quarter of a teaspoon of cloves, maybe a pinch of nutmeg, maybe not the ginger because I don't want it to taste like a gingerbread. But anyway, let's get to the recipe. I have in here 1.5 sticks of soft butter. 1.5 sticks of soft butter. That's 1 3/4 cup of butter. See, I'm going to beat this until it's slightly fluffy. Then I'm going to add 1.5 cups sugar. And then I'm going to beat that more, okay, until it's really well combined. Then I'm going to add my eggs. I don't have my eggs. Hang on. It's 3 eggs, guys. 3 eggs. So let me put those down. So once we add the eggs one at a time and beat well after each egg, then we're going to add 1.5 cups of sour cream. Okay, 1.5 cups of sour cream. When we add the sour cream, we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons. And I used heaping 1.5 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Once that's all combined and well beat, I have in here 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And when I add this, I'm going to add it alternately with the beer. And then for the streusel topping, I have 1/2 cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. You can use 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And I have about 2/3 of a cup of chopped walnuts. 1 Bundt pan, sprayed heavily with pan baking spray. If you don't have that, just use butter and flour. And shake out the extra flour. It's just like this. Make sure your butter is nice and soft. Okay, so I'll do this for a couple of minutes. Okay, guys, that's good. So now we're going to add the sugar all at once. It's really an easy recipe. Just dump it all in there. And then I'm going to beat this. Start out slow. I don't want sugar everywhere. Increase it. So it's really nice and fine and light and fluffy. When the first egg, I'm doing it separate because the other day I had a shell in there. Okay, guys. Let's just beat this to really combine, and then I'll be back. Guys, our second egg, and our third egg, and final egg. Guys, just so you know, my grandmother's recipe says what she did was she gradually added the sugar. But you don't have to gradually. You can just dump it in there. But she gradually added it. And how do I know you don't have to gradually add it? Because it says that in her recipe. But she did. So everyone has their own preference. Just quickly going to whisk this. Okay. Okay. Just like this. Okay. I'll be back. Guys, now we're going to dump in the heaping 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Along with the sour cream. It's 1.5 cups. So the little one is a cup. That's 8 ounces. That's a cup. And then I measured out 1/2 cup. And I use plastic because I like to on the counter and get out all those air pockets for a good measurement. So I'm just going to dump it in here. Well, let's do it together. Scrape it all out, and I'll do that off camera. Guys, I just threw in about a cup of the flour because we're going to add that alternately with the beer. Okay, start out slow because otherwise you can have flour everywhere. And the batter before this reminded me of a cheesecake batter. I'm not going to overwork this. I want it combined, but I'm not going to overwork it. It's going to remind me of a pound cake batter. Okay, here we go with that beer. You can use any flavor of beer you want, but I would not say a lager because that would be very strong and bitter. So, something, you know, light and mild. You know, I used to love Michelob. But, okay, so here we go. Oh, I have to measure this. It's a half a cup. Let me measure. My glass measuring cup, because they're dirty at the moment. And I'm being lazy again today. So, I'm just using a dry measuring cup. So, here is a half a cup. Oh, alternately. I must dump the whole thing. I get excited. Okay. And this may be good for a lot of the guys out there, guys. I mean, the gentlemen, you may like this recipe. So slowly add that in. And I'm actually going to taste this batter because it's fresh eggs and they don't scare me. Hold on, let's increase it. And you're going to definitely want to scrape this down. All right, looks good. Definitely like a pound cake, doesn't it? Like a pound cake batter. Well, let's get the flour. And guys, when you make pound cake, it does matter whether you land up with your dry last or your wet. So you could Google that and do research on that. But there is a difference. Okay, so I'm just going to mix this. Guys, a little bit more beer. It's going to make a light cake. You ever put, I use seltzer water when I make homemade pancakes. Makes it light. A little vodka too. All right, so let me beat this and I'll be back. The rest of our flour. Just put that in the sinks. I don't want that to break. Okay. Same thing, you know the drill. And here's the last of the beer. And what I'm going to do next time is into the batter, I'm going to add a little bit heavier spices, like I said, but you're going to get your spice from the cinnamon and the streusel. Okay, let's go. Oh, can I say you want to beat this till it's shiny and glossy? My grandmother's recipe says. Sorry. We're done mixing. I'm going to taste this. Okay. Guys, it's good. You taste the vanilla. It's a perfect amount of sugar. And as far as what the beer does, it gives it that bubbly. It gives it that little tingle. So it's not, so no, I'm not, it doesn't taste like I'm drinking beer. And maybe if you want, hey kitty, maybe if you wanted a stronger beer flavor, you could go for a stronger beer. But I would try it like this first and have fun experimenting. I'm surprised I never put beer and heard of that. If you guys have, leave me a comment and let me know. But now I'm going to go get the Bundt pen. It's very good. Oh, let me go get the Bundt pen and then I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do 3 layers. We're going to start with cake, streusel, cake, streusel, cake, and finish with streusel. So you just got to eyeball it when we do it. So just like this. Isn't this a nice batter? My grandmother, I'm telling you, was a really good cook. Okay. I think that's good, guys. Let's do some streusel. I should have a spatula. Hang on. Okay. Oop, hang on, guys. Push this down. Okay. Okay, I think that's good, guys. Okay, then we'll do some streusel topping. Again, half a cup of sugar to 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. You could use 2 teaspoons, and chopped nuts. You could use really whatever nut you want, or don't put nuts in at all. Okay. I'm bringing the nuts up a little smaller as I go along. Okay, guys, just a little bit right here. Okay, let's go back to the batter. I think I may have Ken come over and help do this part. Hey, Ken, can you come here and hold the bowl so I can use the spatula? Okay, guys, I think that's good. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna clean up my sides. Ken, I got it. Just push it around gently, guys. I'm going to take a little bit out of the bowl using my spatula and fill in the bowl spot. Maybe a little bit more, guys. All right, I think that's good, don't you? Okay. I'm not one that has to measure this. This is not rocket science. We're not going to the moon. It's a cake, and we're going to eat it. It doesn't have to be exact, perfect, like a cup, a cup, a cup. I'm not like that at all. Okay. All right, let's go back to the streusel. I should have broke the nuts up smaller before. But Ken was my sous for me today. He really helped me a lot. So I was so busy still. I'm going to save, I think, a little extra for the topping. Maybe I shouldn't, right? I should just follow my grandmother's recipe. After you make the recipe the first time, then you can make it your own. Okay, so let's do the last of the batter. Okay. Alright, guys, I'm going to just do this part off camera because I have to use my arm and put it in the view of the camera. And I don't want to show you and make you stare at my arm. So let me do this and I'll be right back. Here's our last cake batter. And I had to wash my hands because I hate dirty hands, even though I keep them nice and clean. But this makes my hands, I hate when it just gets into my nails or on my skin like that. So, okay, so let's just do this. I think I should have saved a little bit more. I don't know. We'll soon find out. I hope I didn't get carried away on that second layer. Time will tell. And it's funny because I said I wanted to save more for this layer. Maybe I did. Okay, it's looking like I have a decent amount left yet to do a nice coating up here, see? Okay, so just like this. Now what I normally do is go tap, tap, tap. I just want to get that off too. Okay, so I just go tap, 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 tap. Get all the little air pockets out. Now I'm going to go bake this and hang out. Hey guys, my grandmother's recipe says bake 1 hour in a moderate oven at 350 degrees or until, so I forget the word she used, but inserted comes out clean. So you can use a toothpick. Or a skewer. As long as it comes out clean, you're done. So I would assume everybody's different. Oven is different, and I always check early. So I'm going to check at 45 minutes, and this may go an hour, may go an hour and 10 minutes. We'll see. Guys, look at this. It's beautiful. When it came out, it was actually a little higher. I took it out about 5 minutes ago. I had to take a phone call. But this is beautiful. Let me say mine cooked about 57 minutes. I checked after 45 minutes. Could have went a little bit more. And I think I maybe could have taken this out maybe about 54, 53 minutes. I don't know. But guys, look, this is what the beer does. It made it rise so beautifully. I mean, of course, there's baking powder and stuff in there, but beer makes it light and fluffy, and it helps with that rise. This is beautiful. And what you do now, my grandmother said, you let it cool completely in your pan, but on a wire rack. So I have a wire rack. It's a fat one, though. So I'm just going to stick that on top of there so the air circulates under there. But it smells amazing. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you what it looks like. Like I said, we're going to Vinny's house and I'm bringing this over there. Well, maybe I'll show you over there what it looks like. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye. Guys, here's my grandmother's recipe. We're at Vinny's house. Long story short, it's delicious. It's really, really good. No, you don't taste beer. It's light. It's fluffy. And I'm not even sure if you can taste the sour cream. It's just it's a really good cake, and you do taste that cinnamon.
It's a good bite.
It's very light and fluffy. All right. Merry Christmas, guys. And Merry Christmas.